Hi, Terry here from PokerRailbird.com. Welcome to the fourth installment of our GTO and Poker Math series. Today we're discussing the four major variants of straight draws and suited connectors, along with the probabilities of making these types of hands pre-flop to river. Let's get right to it. Nearly 50% of the hands you are dealt will have a straight possibility. In Texas Hold'em, connectors refer to two consecutive cards of different suits that can form a straight with a small gap or no gap between them. Understanding the different variants of connectors is crucial for evaluating their potential and making informed decisions during a game. Let's break down the four main variants of connectors. First, we have connectors with no gap. These are hands like 9-8 or Jack-10. Then we have one gap connectors such as 9-7 or 6-8. Next are two gap, which would be Jack-8 or Queen-9, and last are three gaps, hands like Jack-7. There are also variants of each gap. Let's take a look. When it comes to straight draws, understanding the different types of connectors and their probabilities can significantly improve your game. Let's dive into the four main types. First, we have in-the-middle connectors, like Jack-10 or 7-8. These hands are the most versatile because they can complete a straight by connecting with cards on either side. From pre-flop to the river, you have about a 9% chance, or roughly 10-to-1 odds, of making a straight with these connectors. Next are two from the end connectors, such as Queen-Jack or 4-3. These hands are slightly less flexible, requiring more specific cards to complete a straight. The probability of hitting a straight with these connectors from pre-flop to river is around 7%, or about 13-to-1 odds. Then there's one from the end connectors, like King-Queen or 3-2. These hands are more restrictive, needing very specific cards to complete a straight. The chances of making a straight with these hands drop to about 5%, giving you around 19-to-1 odds pre-flop to river. Finally, we have at-the-end connectors, such as Ace-King or Ace-2. These hands are the most challenging to hit a straight with, requiring precise cards at the edges of the deck. The probability of hitting a straight from pre-flop to river with these connectors is the lowest at approximately 3%, or around 32-to-1 odds. Understanding these probabilities helps you assess your drawing potential more accurately. By knowing the odds, you can make more informed decisions at the table, whether to chase that draw or fold. Let's talk about one-gap connectors, hands where a single rank is missing between your two cards. Understanding these can add depth to your straight draw strategy. First, we have in-the-middle one-gap connectors like 9-7. These hands are intense because they can connect with cards on either side, giving you a good shot at a straight. From pre-flop to river, you have about a 7% chance, or roughly 13-to-1 odds, of making a straight with these connectors. Next are two from the end, one-gap connectors, such as Queen-10 or 5-3. These hands are slightly less reliable, as they require more specific cards to fill the gap. The probability of completing a straight with these connectors is around 7%, or about 13-to-1 odds. Then there's one from the end, one-gap connectors like King-Jack or 4-2. These hands are more restrictive because the gap limits the number of straight combinations available. The chances of hitting a straight with these connectors drop to about 5%, giving you around 19-to-1 odds. Finally, we have at-the-end one-gap connectors, such as Ace-Queen or Ace-3. These are the most challenging to complete a straight with, as they require specific cards at the edges of the deck. The probability of making a straight from pre-flop to river with these connectors is the lowest, at approximately 4%, or around 24-to-1 odds. Grasping the intricacies of these one-gap connectors is key to making smarter decisions at the table. While they might seem enticing, being aware of the odds helps you determine whether chasing the straight is worth the risk, or if folding is the wiser move to protect your chips. Two-gap and three-gap straight draws are generally unprofitable in the long term for a few key reasons. First, the chances of completing these straights are pretty low. For instance, a two-gap hand like Queen-9 has only a 6% probability, or 15.67-to-1 odds, of making a straight from pre-flop to river. A three-gap hand like Jack-7 is even worse, with just a 4% chance, or 24-to-1 odds, of completing a straight. Even if you hit the straight, these hands often struggle to extract value. Experienced opponents can easily spot when a two-gap or three-gap straight is possible, making it difficult to win big pots. Now, hands like Ace-Jack, two-gap, or Ace-10, three-gap, can be playable for their ace-high card value. However, it's crucial to remember that your kicker's rank is a potential weakness. You're more vulnerable to losing larger pots with a weak kicker, even when you pair your ace. While two-gap and three-gap hands might seem playable at first glance, the low odds, limited value, and the risk associated with a weak kicker make them generally unprofitable in the long run. As we bring our discussion on straight draws to a close, it's vital to remember that while these hands can hold tremendous power, they also carry significant peril. Consider a hand like 7-8 or 9-10. These connectors might seem like a ticket to victory, but they can just as easily lead you into a minefield of danger. Picture this. You're holding 7, 8, and the turn delivers a 10 high straight. The board shows 6, 9, king, and 10. At first glance, your hand appears strong, a reason to feel invincible. But beware. This is where the game turns treacherous. Somewhere at that table, an opponent might be holding Jack-Queen, already locking in a higher straight. Or they could have Jack-8, lurking with an open-ended straight draw, ready to leapfrog you with a single river card. This scenario is a stark reminder that the true strength of your straight draw isn't just in the cards you hold, but in the cards that could be out there waiting in the hands of your opponents. Understanding the full scope of the situation, recognizing not only your own strength but the potential power your opponents wield, is what separates a good player from a great one. In poker, it's not just about the hand you're dealt. It's about outmaneuvering the unseen threats, making smart decisions, and steering clear of costly mistakes. Stay sharp, stay aware, and never let the allure of a strong hand blind you to the dangers lurking just around the corner. Now let's dive into the world of suited connectors. How much extra power does being suited really bring to our draws? Let's crunch the numbers and see. Take the Jack of Spades and the 10 of Spades as an example. As you might recall, holding Jack-10 offsuit gives you a 9% chance, or 10-to-1 odds, of landing a straight from pre-flop to the river. But what about when those cards are suited? Now we're talking about a 15% probability, or 5.67-to-1 odds, of hitting either a straight or a flush. That's a solid 6% boost in equity just for being suited, and this advantage holds true across the board for most connectors, whether they're 1, 2, or even 3 gappers. But here's the kicker. While suited connectors can be alluring, we must be acutely aware of our top card ranking. Imagine you're playing the 5 of hearts and 4 of hearts, and you hit a flush on the turn, but are you really thrilled about it? Remember, there's roughly a 30% chance that another player also holds 2 hearts, and with your 5 high, there's also a 30% probability that one of their hearts outranks yours. If a 4th heart hits the board on the river, your hand could easily become worthless. On the other hand, with a hand like Jack-10 of Spades, the 30% chance of another player holding 2 spades is still there, but now there's only a 13% chance that one of those spades outranks your Jack. This difference is crucial. Entering a hand pre-flop with suited connectors like 4-5 should never be an automatic move. It's a situational call, influenced by factors like your position, the game flow, and the style of your opponents. High card rank, position, and game texture should always be at the forefront of your mind before you commit your chips. So next time you're tempted by those shiny suited connectors, think beyond the allure of suitedness. Consider the full picture. As we wrap up this deep dive into straight draws and suited connectors, it's clear that these hands can offer tremendous potential. But with that potential comes a set of challenges that every serious poker player must understand. Whether you're chasing a straight or hoping to capitalize on the added equity of suited connectors, the key is always awareness. Recognizing the strength of your hand, reading the board, and anticipating the moves of your opponents are crucial elements that will determine your success. Remember, in poker, it's not just about the hands you play, but how you play them. Straight draws and suited connectors can be powerful tools in your arsenal, but they require finesse, timing, and a keen understanding of the game's subtleties. Sometimes the most important decision isn't just when to push forward, but when to pull back and avoid unnecessary risks. I hope this video has been of value and that you can use it to sharpen your game. Keep refining your strategy, stay aware of the bigger picture, and always be ready to adapt. The road to poker mastery is long and winding, but with every hand, every decision, you're getting closer to becoming the player you aspire to be. You can find the full article, Straight Draws and Suited Connectors, at pokerrailbird.com. I have posted all the charts there that depict the probabilities and odds for every possible straight draw, both suited and offsuit. The link is posted in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Until next time, play smart, stay focused, and may the poker gods be with you.